But let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Let's dive into this offense. Listen, we came out firing. I can't remember the last time we had an opening drive touchdown where we drove right down the field. And not just that, but we answered them after they scored on an opening drive touchdown. And it was like a tick for tack. And it was kind of like, this is what this feels like. Okay.
Right.
Well, I was still suspect. I was still kind of like, okay. Oh, they're depleted. But we did it again and went up 14. Then we did it again. And it was just kind of like, we kind of got a fast-paced, little formidable offense out here, man. What you think?
Well, and it was the way we were doing it. Credit goes to Cliff Kingsbury. Everyone kept saying, "Oh, it's just going to be the air raid offense and stuff." And he even said it. Maybe it was Tuesday or Monday night or something. He's like, "This isn't Arizona Cardinals year 5. This is Washington year 1." And he changed his offense. He's not just running the same old stuff, But it was like you said, every drive we were scoring and moving the ball in a different manner. The first one, we got some features. Brian Robinson was able to get a touchdown. Then the second one, Austin Eckler took a 30-yard run into the end zone. Then the third one, we bombed it down to Terry. It was so nice to see that we could hit them with various spots. So even though the score wasn't showing a whooping, I just felt like they didn't have a formula to beat us. They didn't know how to stop us. And it was just, we were spreading the ball around just like we thought. And what I thought was really great to see was you could see the confidence by the offense. Yes. How many times on third and 7, 3rd and 8, and they're like, we got the play wide open. Zach Ertz over the middle. It's 4th down. And who does he throw to? He throws to his rookie wide receiver, Luke McCaffrey, who takes the ball down to the 3-yard line, who catches something and takes another 20 yards. Like, we had so much confidence how often we were converting 3rd and 4th downs. Like, that was the part that I was just like, this is very impressive to watch.
Oh, absolutely. And look, to that point, Alex, man, everybody was eating. I mean, we know JD5 had his, 2 passing touchdowns, his rushing touchdown, but then Eckler got a touchdown. B-Rob, Terry got a touchdown. Will talked about Luke and Zach getting in some action, man. I mean, everybody was getting some of this action. And honestly, that was something that I was really, really excited to see, that the offense took off the way it did.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I was shocked because me and you talked about it before the game, that we didn't think this offense was gonna, I had us losing. I feel bad, but I had us losing because what we did last week, you know what I'm saying? It was nowhere. It's like a whole different team, like the whole different offense. We couldn't score in the red zone, and I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna take us some time. Well, we blew up. I don't know what the coaches said to them, but shout out to everybody. The coaches, the special teams, to the offensive line, to the quarterback, to the wide receivers. I mean, everybody had a hand in something. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. I think we broke something. I think the Bengals and us broke a record of not doing no turnovers and no punts, won't it? Is that the first time in Super Bowl era?
Yeah.
Super Bowl era, yeah. First time
right. And people doubted us. Even the cornerback for the Bengals, I can't think of his name. He doubted us and said about JD5, about the offense is very simple. They run a college like offense, and it's just little short passes here and there. It's like we came out and he ate his words for sure. Interviewed him again. He was like, yeah, I ate my words and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, we was alive on Monday night. Everybody saw us, and we are a problem. It seems like we are a very problem. We definitely a top offense in this league now. So I'm excited, man. I know we all are. So for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was funny because I was telling Will, I was watching the first half. I was listening to the first half of the game because I was driving back from work, and Logan Paulson, they addressed that comment, and Logan Paulson was basically saying, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of college offense, that's kind of wide open. That kind of hits the spots of this and that, and then it's kind of exciting. And then towards when they started gashing him, he was like, well, this college offense is kind of picking y'all apart, taking his little shot in there. And I was like, oh, right. Logan, I see you. But look, to your point, man, I think the big difference is last week we had 10 penalties, a lot of them in the red zone. This week we only had 3 penalties. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not that our offense wasn't moving before. I mean, each game this season, we've had at least 21 first downs. You know, this one we had 22. I think last week we had 22. We're moving the ball. We talked about moving it between the 20s, but this week we were able to not only get in the red zone, and I think that was key. We were 3 for 3 in the red zone, but the big part about this game that I think really kind of impressed me is the confidence we had going for it on third down. We were 3 for 3 going for it on, not third down, but fourth down, and we were 5 for 9 on third. First, the fact that we're taking that chance, that's one thing, but then the confidence that instilled in the players. Now we're successfully keeping these drives going, and now we're not having a 3 and out. And that's, come on, man. We're not used to this, Will. Let's put it that way.
No. And it was demoralizing for the Bengals defense because they would get stops and then they'd be sitting there and then on fourth down, we'd get a first down. JD5 would run it, and doing a read option. And so it was sort of like, for them, it's like, well, what more can we do? We can't stop these guys right now. You look at how the ball got spread around. We were kind of talking about what would this offense look like, and obviously Terry's our best, but there was a lot of stuff about Zach Ertz being the next receiver, that next safety valve. He had the most catches out of everyone out there. He had 5 of them. Many of them were for a first down in that second half. He was that safety valve. I think back to the play where he came, it was a busted play or maybe just good coverage, and he came back to Jaden, and Jaden rifled it to him on the sidelines. It was only a 6 or 7 yard completion, but it set up 3rd and short. And so we were able to convert, So you were seeing the ball get spread around really well. Luke McCaffrey had 3 catches for 44 yards. That's pretty good per catch yardage right there. He's moving the chains. Noah Brown, this free agent signing, 3 catches for 29 yards, 10 yards a catch, not too bad, but you're seeing a lot of confidence from Jaden in him. He kind of seems to trust him. Even Sean, I'm going to talk about your guy, Diami. He only had 2 catches, but they were a big part of that drive that we had. Yeah. They went back to back, same play to him, and he was able to get 16 yards and get us much closer. So we were able to convert. Like we had, Alex, you were saying that a whole bunch of guys were contributing to it, and that's what we were doing on offense. And it was just really fun to see everything clicking on Monday.
Dude, it's a sight for sore eyes. You know where I stand. And it has to go with our backfield, man. Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson. I've said it time and time again that this offense goes with how I believe this offense goes with how they go. And by the numbers, combined, them, Jaden Daniels, together, and even Nichols, they only have just over 100 yards. But you were talking about this, Will. The running, it wasn't necessarily the yardage that we got, but it was the time of the yards. It was when we got them, the short yard downs, or even just first or second down. We were ahead of the chains most times. And even when we didn't, the fact that we went so much on fourth down kind of leads you to believe that there's a lot of times when they came into third down, they were there saying, this is 2 down territory. We're going to sit here and go either third, and if we don't get it here, then we're going to go fourth. And when you have that, that kind of gives a confidence to the team, like, hey, okay, this might not work, but let's keep going. But we don't have to have this big dominant what's the word I'm looking for? This big play, essentially, that's going to take it for us, So I'm loving that. I'm loving every bit of it. Will, I guess my question to you is, can we sustain it? Can we keep this thing going?
That's a great question. From a standpoint of the fact that we are spreading the ball around so much, I think yes. There's a major concern right now with Austin Eckler being out. He's already been ruled out on Sunday because he suffered a concussion. And that, he has been quite the reveal for us. He runs fast. He runs hard. And his pass protection is something that is not talked about that much, but he makes big time decisions back there. He kind of knows who he needs to, where he needs to prioritize to give his quarterback an extra, second to get the ball away. And so Is it sustainable? I do think so, because there's enough guys that are contributing where it's not, it's not, to quote Ab, F it, Terry down there somewhere. That's not our offense. And so I think,
Right.
yeah, they can be sustainable, but right now we're definitely riding a high with it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking about riding a high, I mean, we wanted to see one thing for the last several years, Alex, and you guys talked about it. You and Anton talked about it the other day before the game, what we needed to do. We need to force feed our guy. And, we only gave him 4 receptions, but damn, if those 4 receptions weren't pinpoint, just amazing. 4 catches, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, the game winner, man. Terry McLaurin, he did everything that we needed him to do. I mean, what are your thoughts about that, man? Are you satisfied with, you only got those 4 targets, but when they happened, every one of them, especially the last one where he called it and said, one-on-one, throw it to this guy, we're going to get it. Like, what's your thoughts about him?
You talking about with Terry? My bad. Y'all broke out, but you talking about with Terry? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, incredible. Him and JD5 are finally having a good connection, because everybody was wondering, is like, when is Terry going to get the ball? When is Terry going to get the ball? But yeah, I mean, their confidence now that it's just growing. You know what I'm saying? It's just the beginning, man. I see big things for sure. They're definitely gelling out there quicker than what we thought. I thought it was going to take them a couple of weeks, but man, this game, and that's why I want to know, like you said, can we keep this going? Was it, and I have a question, was it the Bengals defense that bad, or was our offense just that good? Because I want to see us, play against a top 5 defense, or, a top 3 defense, and then see how we are. But right now, man, I mean, the Bengals did play the Chiefs, and they had a real good game versus Pat Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? And Pat Mahomes, the Chiefs played pretty good defense. So, it's definitely up in the air, but I definitely see our offense definitely keep improving and getting better for sure. But yeah, with Terry McLaurin, man, I mean, he's a threat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we even saw it on the sideline was 4th and some, or it was third down and some. You saw Jaden Daniels. I mean, in that pressure Monday night, the crowd was loud, and I think Jaden Daniels, if you saw him, he was telling Cliff, like, come on, let's go. Call the play. Like, let's go. And then 4th down came. He was like, come on, let's do it. Like, I'm ready. Let's do it. Like, he was so hot. Like, it was just incredible. And then Terry just over the top, and I think there was one play where Luke McCaffrey, Jaden was like, just get in the position, just go. Because I already know what I'm going to do. Throw it to Terry over the top. And he said Hutton just threw it over the top. And Terry, I mean, it's just incredible, man, how fast these guys did it, and just in primetime moment, you could tell that it did not look like this was a new team. It looked like we were a veteran offense, like a 10-year vet at quarterback, and we've been doing this for a long time. But I don't know. I hope we keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? With how long can we hold this up? You know what I mean?
Well, and I think what kind of tends to get overlooked in this is the fact that JD5 was kept clean. He was only sacked twice.
Right.
Our O-line,
right.
We've had questions about our O-line all year, but they have been opening holes. Brandon Coleman on the 1 touchdown where he blew the guy out. Like, I'm so happy that JD5 rewarded Trent Scott with that touchdown, and all of a sudden he's throwing them hooks up, he's getting it in. Yeah.
Big man shuffle. Will,
let me ask you this, Will. Who gets that ball? Who gets the first game? Because Trent Scott's not going to get any more touchdowns. Does it go to Trent Scott or does it go to JD5, man? What you think?
JD5. You got it. He gets it.
Listen,
man, there are so many people that are furious right now because nobody had Trent Scott with catching Jaden's very first touchdown pass on their bet card in Vegas. So, like, everyone just threw away money with that. But no, and without a doubt, he was the player of the game. Ab said it going into the game. I'm looking to see him be a star. The lights are on. It's Monday Night Football. Everyone's got attention on you. What are you going to do? I mean, he was 21 of 23. He's so careful with the ball. He's not just going to panic back there and just throw it up there and hope his guys catch it, to the point where he misses stuff because he won't anticipate right now. He wants to see it open. But, he had 250 yards passing. 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. So he did, Ab's prediction was 300. All right. So he didn't quite get that, but we only had 6 possessions. When you don't have the ball, because we kept scoring, you don't have that many opportunities. But he did a tremendous job. And you know what I thought was really interesting with the offense and what could progress was 2 things. I say kudos to our coaching staff, because Alex, you talked about how Terry is the one who called that last play. And he said to DQ, put this in, just throw it up to me. And and the situation came up and they listened. You got coaches that are listening to their players, that trust their players. That's only going to be reciprocated when situations like that come in, when a coach hears you, calls it, and then you make the play. They're going to go back to you the next time you say, I see something, let's go do this. So I love that. But then the other part, after the game, I saw something. I went, okay, they're starting to create something where Terry said, he goes, you got me one-on-one, just throw it up there. I got you. A little bit of the Taylor Heineke stuff, there, but, they were talking on the broadcast how Terry hasn't, been vocal about his lack of production so far. A lot of it being because he's seen it in practice to know it's going to come. He's a rookie out there, but he's going to get better, and my time's going to come. And he probably sees in practice, he's been in Ashburn long enough to go, this is the best guy I've ever had thrown to me. I'm not going to mess this up right now. We'll get to where we need to go, because he's had a lot of junk throwing him the ball. So I think, we're talking about sustainability and making progressions. And I think you're going to see more and more grow from Terry and Jaden. And maybe this was the start, the fact that, they started to get that connection.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, but at the end of the day, to your point about the coaches, in my opinion, the game plan, the way that we game plan this team, especially when we go into defense, maybe not so much by the numbers on defense, but kind of how we decided to put so much attention to Chase. I also, on the offense, we really the game plan that was implemented, run the ball, give high percentage passes to Jaden Daniels. But if you look at that last drive where we go down for score, we took the ball. It was either the last drive or the one we got the field goal on, where we took 10 minutes to play, and we took 7 minutes off the clock. You know what I mean? Where we drove it down. This is another game where we won the time of possession, which is a small stat, but at the same time, one of the things that we talked about is one of the only ways we're going to beat Joe Burrow is if Joe Burrow is watching the majority of the game. We beat them in time possession. He was watching most of it, and we see how close it was. But I think that's kudos to the coaching staff. And the fact that you have Terry and those guys responding to the freedom that they've been given, I honestly think, man, it bodes well for us going down the line, to where it does kind of make you think, well, who else wants some? Hey, come on, we'll take any defense right now. You know what I mean? And look, we'll see how that plays out. But hey, the offense looked beautiful. So shout out to him, man.